Up next, we got Jim Cornette, and he's going to introduce Stan Lane. So let's go right now to Jimmy out there with Big Bubba.
Your announcement, I would take.
Okay, you know something? Today I'm real happy, but last week I was lower than low because the fact of the matter is I like coming out here saying what I want to say and doing what I want to do. And I'll be honest with you, for once in my life, everything I do just tickles me to death. But you see, the fact of the matter is my mother's paying for this whole gig. She's financing it. She's the one I got to please in the bottom line. She called me home last week. I had to take Bubba up to Louisville, and she sat me down, had a long talk, and said, listen here. When you first came to Jim Crockett Promotions in the NWA, you said the Midnight Express were going to be World Tag Team Champions, and they were. You said the Midnight Express were going to beat people up, and they did. Everything you said was going to happen came to pass. But the Midnight Express been without the World Tag Team Championship since August 16, 1986. I said they were going to win the U.S. Tag title. They didn't do it. I said they were going to win the scaffold match, get rid of the Road Wars. They didn't do it. And Mama said the Cornette name's not going to be associated with anything unless it's the best. So, brother, a change had to be made. She said there was a weak link. In any chain, there's a weak link, and a chain's only as strong as the weakest link. She told me to make the weak link strong no matter what it took and no matter how much expense I had to go to, and she gave me the blank check. So what I did, I sat down and I examined the situation. Big Bubba Rogers, the baddest man in the world. Since he's been my bodyguard, his job has been to keep everybody from putting their hands on me, and that's what he's done perfectly. Beautiful Bobby Eaton, the highest flying man in professional wrestling, does things in a wrestling ring that no other athlete has ever even dreamed of accomplishing. But there was a weak link. Well, now, the weak link has been made strong. $1 million Jim Crockett Cup coming up. The World Tag Team titles, United States Tag Team titles, everything coming up. For ladies and gentlemen, I present now for the first time ever, none other than the greatest tag team in professional wrestling, twin sons of different mothers. The weak link is strong. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, the new Midnight Express. Come on in here. Woo! Look at him. Is he great or what? I'm going to tell you what right now. I went out and I searched until I found the perfect man. This is the greatest tag team of all time, the most outrageous combination. Twin sons of different mothers, tag team specialists. Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup, $1 million coming up. The U.S. Tag Team titles, the World Tag Team titles, any honor in wrestling is now within our grasp because bigger, better, more exciting, stronger, faster, sleeker, meaner, slicker, and quicker than ever. Brother, the new Midnight Express, and I promise you this. Anybody that stands in our way from now on is going to have a bad, bad surprise because we have done it this time. The ultimate combination. We're going down in history, and we're going to be back later. Let's go, guys. They've seen enough. They don't deserve any more.
All right, you heard it from Jim Cornette, and we'll be right back, fans.
Doc, thoughts?
All right, Sweet Stan. Man, it's time to fly in seafood and bitches and start doing this thing. The only thing better is when he comes out in a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. When he's got something to say in a little while. What else you got, Doc?
Dude, I love the fact that he's like, my mom is the one paying the bills here, and she just told me what we needed to do, so we got that done, and that's what we're doing.
Hopper, what about you?
I like the weakest link deal. That was a good way to cover it, of him leaving.
Yeah, he's talked about that on his show recently, too, that, you know, Dennis didn't take it to heart. Actually, at that point, they had no clue where Dennis was. Hadn't talked to him. Dennis kind of disappeared. They didn't see him until years later.
That's crazy.
Right, but Dennis didn't take it to heart. He said he had to, in Cornette's words, was like, I had to do something. I mean, he just...
Right, he didn't bury him. He didn't bury him by name, and that was artfully done, I think.
Yeah, I think he handled it as best he could to get over Sweet Stan.
Yeah,
so that's a huge announcement. It's a big deal, but it's going to be overshadowed by when we revisit this here in just a little bit.
Yeah, and like 9 times out of 10, when there's a tag team that has new in front of it, it's always shit. But this is it. I think this is the only time where it's worked.
Well, you didn't like Lance Von Erich?
No, that was a cousin.
Yeah.
But the thing about this was, they kind of reference new, but it's really not. Like,
right.
It's like a continuation of the Midnight Express. Because, like, even when you think Midnight Express today, you think of the two different versions, but you still think of them as one team.
You're right.
I know, at least I do. I don't. Because, like, I hear people argue about, oh, which version did you like? Did you like the Dennis and Stan? The Dennis and Bobby one or the Bobby and Stan? I'm like, fuck, I like them both equally.
Yeah.
So, it's like Van Halen. Do you like it with David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
That's not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know enough about that to know people don't
we
see that
know.
Same. Anyway, I'll make my point about what Stan was thinking with that shit-eating grin when he walked. Because y'all saw Stan with that grin he had on his face?
Yeah.
That shit was ridiculous. So, yes, there we go. We will talk more about that shortly, though.
Going because I am really ready to talk about
Stan Lane?
something else. Yes.
Me too.
I was going to try to tease it, but I ran out of ways to tease it, so I'm just ready to hear. I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah, Garvin was good. He talks about Ann Landers and Cornette and everybody needing advice from Ann Landers, which I thought was real funny. Not a great promo, but the Ann Landers reference was funny if you're from the 80s like we are. Barry Windham is up next against Chance McQuaid. Barry wins very quickly. And then we go to Cornette, and this is what Doc has been wanting to get to for the longest. So here it is.
Athlete that I can think of that's been at large in the professional wrestling world, and he's with us now. And brother, great things are going to happen. Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup, $1 million. Ronnie Garvin, I heard him telling the tale of sorrow, looking through to a glass eye about what's going to happen to me. Well, brother, let me tell you something, Ronnie Garvin. If looks could kill, brother, you'd be lying on the floor because this man is the sharpest thing I can think of. And besides that, he's lean and mean in the ring. And Tony, come on out here, back that camera up. I want to get a shot of this. Go back. This man is the greatest thing in the world. Sweet Stan Lane, the newest member of the Midnight Express, like I said. And brother, Stan, tell him what you're going to be doing with us.
You know, it's hard to believe, Tony, that 24 short hours ago, I was laid out on Clearwater Beach, all oiled up, surrounded by pretty women, thinking, Stan doesn't get any better than this, you know? Then the phone rang, and I picked it up, and Jim Cornette said, hey, how'd you like to make $1 million? When he did, I dropped that baby oil. And then he said, how'd you like to drink Dom Perignon champagne out of the Jim Crockett cup? When he said that, I dropped the pina colada. And then he said, how'd you like to come up here and kick Jimmy Garvin's butt and get paid for it? And when he said that, I stood up and I slapped all 5 of them women and caught the plane. And I'm here now with the greatest tag team partner in the world and the greatest match in the world. And we're ready to go to Baltimore and come home with $1 million big ones, sweetheart.
That's right, the ultimate combination. I can't think of anything to be better unless we win that $1 million in Baltimore. And that's exactly what we're going to do, no matter how fearsome, no matter how outrageous the Midnight Express been up till now. Brother, we're going to be double so. We're going to be triple so. There's all kind of women. 2/3 of the women in the country right now are getting hooked up to an iron lung and shoved in intensive care because they can't believe the sight that has been unfolded in front of them today. And all I got to say, brother, is bad news from the Midnight Express. The past, even worse now. We're sharper, we're meaner, we're better in the ring, and we're slicker looking outside. And brother, everything new, everything different, all kind of renovation. Mother loves him. Mother's happy with it. I'm happy with it. Bobby's happy. Bubba's happy. Everybody's happy because this is the greatest thing, the biggest news that's ever happened in professional wrestling. All I got to say is last week I was down. Last week Mama was doing this. I was almost out of professional wrestling. Now I'm sitting on top of the world, and I can't wait to get to Baltimore and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. One more thing. You think you're sharp, brother? I want you to take a look at this. He's sharper than a butcher knife, and he cuts like a knife, too. Let's get out of here. They don't deserve to see anymore. I'm afraid we're going to roust the whole country into a state of cardiac arrest.
Jim Cornette, from his words, wasn't too long ago, he was in big trouble with his mom.
Okay, Doc, you're laughing. I know Harper's over there laughing. He's on mute probably. Doc, you go first.
Why did he have to slap 5 broads?
Yeah.
But I could just see the visual of him being on the beach and like kicking some sand up and then just paintbrushing 5 bitches all at once.
Because, I mean, he looks like someone that would be on the beach. He looks like he just stepped out of a Bud Light commercial or something.
Man, I wonder.
McKenzie.
There are parts of that story that were probably true, meaning he was on the beach when he got that call and he put down his pina colada when he heard how much money he was going to make. And instead of hitting those 5 broads, he was probably hitting them from behind, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
We probably need to revisit. It's on the YouTube channel when Corny was on with us. Because we asked him about Horner, because Horner had a claim that he was going to be a member of the Midnight Express.
Yeah.
And Corny tells a story about exactly how it went down that Stan got the phone call to come into the Midnight. I don't remember specifically what he said.
Let me tell you this. Stan Lane's standing out there looking like I went through all of Memphis, all the rats in Memphis with Kern.
Dude.
I went down to Florida and depleted those supplies. So
Yep.
now I'm here in the Carolinas and the Southeast because I'm ready to get going again. And I'm going to use this national TV platform to beat a few people up and bang all the bitches.
Dude, he's got the shit-eating grin on his face,
The
kind of like, man,
sunglasses.
yes, this is a national platform. I'm going to score me a lot more snatch than I was getting on a regular basis down in Florida and what I got in Memphis. And, man, I was getting a lot down in those territories. But, bruh, I'm on TBS now. I'm about to tear some pussy up.
That's his. I've been training my whole life for this exact moment, and I am ready.
He's like, I'm embracing this fucking shit.
Harper, what else do you have?
Goodbye, regional wrestling star. Hello, Dick for hire.
Yeah, he looks like $1 million, man.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's almost like he really doesn't need a manager because he's I mean, Dennis never really said it 2 words, but I mean, Stan's just
and Bobby's back there grinning like,
yeah, I know.
dude, Bobby is thrilled. He's got himself a partner now.
Bobby's not
the best looking guy on the team
I know,
anymore.
huh?
dude. Bobby just figured out that they were nailing some decent pieces before, but Bobby just realized I might not be the best looking dude on this team no more, but man, this dude right here, he, by the fact that I'm just next to him, I'm gonna score me some better snatch too.
Yes,
My new partner's my new partner, if you know what I mean.
Right. So Stan is up in the rat game for the Midnights, and you can't tell me otherwise. This was magical because Stan truly has that look on his face of, man, I'm about to have me some fun up in this piece.
No kidding.
He's,
That was
it's like-
fantastic.
And you know, Harper, you said something about Stan talking right there. See, that's the argument I get into with people when they start ranking the Midnight. They're like, oh, like Dennis and Bobby versus Stan and Bobby. Man, the one thing about Stan not only was a damn good wrestler, that motherfucker could talk. He was a hell of a promo.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in Smoky Mountain, but prior to that, he was ripping them in Crockett. So,
Yeah.
you know, Stan's a hell of a talker as well as a good wrestler. So
I mean,
love this
he
version
looks
of the Midnight.
Great, man.
He's perfect for the role.
Mm-hmm.
Shit
Got
eating
that
grin.
tan, the hair,
Yeah.
the body, the fucking that fucking vest or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yep.
Mm-mm. He's there to fucking steal the spotlight.
He's about to rip it up. And we're gonna see it. We'll get to see it play out. But all right. So anything else, Doc?
No.
Harper, you.
No, sir.